Is it true that a corrupted mind can really destroy the human race? Or is it not true? No one really knows, but it's written in legends. Atlantis, a land that, again, no one knows for sure if it ever really existed. Yet many people have been inspired by Atlantis and have told its story in all kinds of versions. There are also plenty of people who have seriously tried to search for this sunken kingdom. As for me, I'm another person who's been drawn in by Atlantis and wants to dig deeper into its story. Because according to legend, Atlantis was a land inhabited by humans who had civilization and technology. That was even more advanced than what we have today. And if such a precious land with such skilled people could just disappear, it really drives home the point for us that humans, hey? Don't go thinking you're all that just yet. You can support our research and homework by scanning this QR code right here. But if you can't scan it, no worries. Just stick around till the end. This is Finsci Money Monster. So the story goes like this. The gods sank the kingdom of Atlantis beneath the deep sea in just one day and one night because the people of that land had become corrupt. That vast land was completely flooded and dragged under. It was buried under the deepest part of the ocean, as deep as it could possibly go, by the force of a volcanic eruption that turned into a hot spring shooting up from the earth all the way to the sky, so powerful that even the gods were afraid. This is the legend of the gods' punishment of the great city of Atlantis, as written by Plato, the ancient Greek philosopher, in his book called Timaeus. The kingdom of Atlantis was said by everyone to be incredibly advanced and civilized. According to the description, it was a kingdom shaped like concentric rings, a land of abundance interspersed with bodies of water, filled with every kind of luxurious architecture imaginable. It was ruled by a confederation of kings who were both great and wondrous. Plato even specified the location of Atlantis, saying it was at the Pillars of Heracles, and he noted that Atlantis was larger than Libya and Pisidia. Altogether, it was enormous. The Pillars of Heracles are interpreted as the Strait of Gibraltar, which separates Europe and Africa. Even though Atlantis is a mysterious land that no one even knows for sure whether it really existed or not, there have been many people who have tried very seriously to search for Atlantis. For example, in a National Geographic documentary, when the team used deep-sea exploration technology called SCOPE, ROV, which scans images under the sea, was used. It's like a sunken city beneath the ocean, and with this technology, once they scanned, it made it look as if the sea level dropped dramatically, revealing the land beneath the ocean that they had scanned, making it rise above the water. Of course, the research team traveled to the coordinates mentioned by Plato. They didn't claim that this spot was really Atlantis, but they did say that the coordinates Plato mentioned matched the area of a rift in the Earth's crust where a major earthquake once occurred because the crust split apart. So it's highly possible that the Great Flood in the Atlantic, which caused the entire kingdom to sink beneath the sea, was caused by the land splitting in this area. And the idea that Atlantis was a real place started to become popular in the 19th century, or about 200 years ago, when Ignatius L. Donnelly, an American politician interested in the mysteries of lost civilizations, back in 1882, he published an influential book called Atlantis, the Antediluvian World, which described Atlantis as the very first geographical location where primitive humans were able to become civilized. Over thousands of years, Atlantis developed into a land with a remarkably highly advanced civilization. Its civilization was even more advanced than any human civilization in the world at the time he was born. He also described the event of Atlantis sinking, mentioning that there were terrifying hot springs erupting from the ground, so frightening that even the gods were afraid. He said it was an event similar to a volcanic eruption in the modern world, and it could instantly kill thousands or even tens of thousands of people living on that land. In addition, there is a book by Edward Polvel called The Solar System. It tells that Atlantis was a kingdom that ruled this world about 1 million to 900,000 years ago, which was known as the Golden Age of Atlantis. Howell described Atlantis as a city of great comfort. Its capital was called the Golden Gate. At its peak, Atlantis had a population of about 2 million people, and there were massive water pipes bringing water down from mountain lakes into the city. He also said that during the time of Atlantis, they were flying vehicles that could carry between 2 to 8 passengers. Seriously, even today we still can't fly like that, but back then they already had it. Atlantis was the first group to develop an organized system of warfare, meaning they had an army, not just random fighting. Polvel said that their military system involved sending troops of about 50 to 100 soldiers to be stationed in various cities, and they also deployed warships on duty. They installed poison gas and had rocket-like bombs with warheads, kind of like modern-day missiles. So why did such an advanced civilization disappear? There's a clue written in the Bible. God told Noah that all humans must perish before him because the earth was filled with violence by human hands. And behold, we will destroy them along with the earth. And if you ask what this corruption was, it's actually written down. In the story of Annie Besant, who was a member of the Theosophical Society like Powell, it's mentioned in the book Man, Whence, How, and Whither that the Atlanteans practiced black magic similar to biotechnology. They used magic to crossbreed humans with animals, which was forbidden by God, until there emerged a race that emerged in Atlantis. They were an army of beasts, human in form but with the nature of animals. This was a savage race of hunters, created to destroy and consume the corpses of enemies during wartime. This is just one example I found of the corruption in Atlantis that displeased God. But in Donnelly's book, it's also written that in the land of Atlantis, there were still good people, or those who practiced white magic, who were warned by God to evacuate before the flood occurred. There was an earthquake. At this point, people were able to evacuate and relocate before the land was swallowed beneath the sea. Donnelly says that the group who managed to escape from Atlantis were the ones who went on to create later civilizations in the world. One thing I've always wondered about, but never really found a solid answer to, and I think this might be one of the answers, is the pyramids in Egypt. In Donnelly's book, it's also written that Egypt was one of the colonies, one of the very first ancient colonies where the Atlanteans migrated and established a settlement. So it's explained that Egypt was modeled after the island in the Atlantic Ocean. The Atlanteans were also among the first people who could produce iron, which led to the Iron Age. And the script we use today might have originated from the Phoenician script, because there's a theory that Atlantis could have been the starting point for the writing systems used throughout Europe and the Middle East, eventually spreading to become languages used all over the world. This is one of the assumptions about who actually built the pyramids in Egypt. Pyramids that, even with today's technology, would be incredibly difficult to construct. What I've found is kind of like evidence suggesting that there were humans with a civilization more advanced than ours who existed before us, maybe once or maybe even several times. I came across a piece of evidence in the same documentary from National Geographic, Drain the Oceans. It's about cities submerged under the sea, like on Yonaguni Island in Japan, which you see here. This is some truly advanced architecture. It was built from massive stones, many of them, all lined up together, and there are even smooth walls. That means it must have been constructed by humans. What's really important is that the stones are arranged in a very orderly, step-like formation. It's impossible for this to happen naturally. The research team went down to investigate the site and found that it's as big as 5 football fields. There's also evidence that humans once lived there, which is significant. It's over 8,000 years old. Besides this place, the research team has also explored many other sunken cities around the world and found that there used to be houses made of brick, livestock farming, weapons, graves, and civilizations dating back between 10,000 and 5,000 years ago. That means before we even realized there were people like us in human history, there had already been other groups of humans. Edward Powell also wrote that Atlantis collapsed as far back as 9,564 BC, and those who managed to escape continued to write stories about Atlantis under various names, such as the Garden of Eden, as mentioned in the Bible, or what is called the Elysian Fields, or Olympus, according to ancient Greek legend, or what is called Asgard by the Norse people of Northern Europe. The Theosophical group also tells stories about Atlantis from the perspective of the technology that is emerging in our world. They mention another aspect, which is that today, as the world's technology has advanced so much that it's reaching the same point as the technology. When Atlantis was at its peak, it might not have been the pinnacle we think we're heading toward now. Instead, it could be the point where we're actually heading toward decline, just like what happened in the land of Atlantis. Helena Blavatsky, co-founder of the Theosophical Society in 1875, described the fall of Atlantis like this: "The people of Atlantis had great potential. And they lived in great comfort because they didn't have to struggle to gain knowledge or skills. This shows that the people of Atlantis were a group with exceptional wisdom, something they were born with from the very beginning." But even with all this, the people of Atlantis were still not satisfied. They wanted to control nature, driven by ambition and evil, which eventually led to the downfall of their kingdom. Honestly, when it comes to natural disasters, even if you've never experienced one yourself, I believe everyone has at least seen them on TV, on their phones, or through various other media. We've all seen just how powerful and devastating natural disasters can be, and how cruel they can get. It probably happened because nature, because of global warming, because of God, because of corrupted hearts, or just by coincidence. No one really knows why these things happen. No matter how many references I give for where I got this story, nobody can truly know what's real and what's not. All we know is that if any part of this story is true, it's simply trying to tell us humans, hey, don't get too full of yourselves, because the humans who came before us, who thought they were even greater than we are now, have already disappeared.